Tehran eyes the bomb as regional influence wanes. Recent military setbacks have left Iran in a precarious position, potentially accelerating its pursuit of nuclear weapons capability. With key allies like Hezbollah and Hamas suffering heavy losses, Iran's axis of resistance appears to be crumbling. As one analyst put it, if the axis of resistance isn't working, then the only deterrent might be a nuclear deterrent. Iran has already made significant progress in its nuclear program since the collapse of the 2015 nuclear deal. According to U.S. intelligence assessments, Iran could produce enough weapons-grade uranium for a bomb in a matter of weeks. While Tehran insists its nuclear activities are peaceful, its recent actions suggest otherwise. As one expert noted, Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. With its conventional military options limited, Iran may view nuclear weapons as its best insurance policy against external threats. As tensions with Israel and the U.S. escalate, the temptation to cross the nuclear threshold will only grow stronger. Strike on nuclear sites, a risky gambit for Israel. Following Iran's unprecedented missile attack this week, calls are growing in Israel for a decisive strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. Former Israeli PM Naftali Bennett urged action to destroy Iran's nuclear program and fatally cripple this terrorist regime. However, such an attack carries enormous risks that could backfire spectacularly. While Israel successfully bombed Iraq's Osirak reactor in 1981 and a Syrian facility in 2007, Iran's nuclear program presents a far more challenging target. Key sites like Fordo are buried deep underground, potentially out of reach of Israel's bunker-busting munitions. Even if Israel could destroy Iran's current facilities, experts warn the program could quickly be reconstituted in more hardened, dispersed locations. More critically, an attack would likely harden Iran's resolve to acquire nuclear weapons while rallying domestic support for the regime. As one analyst cautioned, if they decide to attack Iran's nuclear program, they will find themselves worrying much more about Iran's nuclear program in the future. Israel must also consider the broader regional consequences. An attack could spark a wider conflict, drawing in Iranian proxies and potentially the U.S. As one expert noted, the ensuing chaos of any Israeli attack would serve little purpose beyond the thin possibility it might lead to war, and perhaps regime change, in Iran. Learning from past mistakes why Iran isn't Iraq, some Israeli officials may be tempted to view potential strikes on Iran through the lens of past successes like Osirak. However, Iran's nuclear program bears little resemblance to Iraq's nascent efforts in 1981. As one analyst explained, if the Iranian program today comprised a single reactor that had not been turned on, I think you could make a fair argument that it could be in Israel's interests to attack it. But that's nothing like what the Iranian program actually looks like. Iran has dispersed its nuclear facilities across numerous hardened sites, many buried deep underground. Its program is also based on uranium enrichment via centrifuges rather than plutonium production in a single reactor. This distributed approach makes it far more resilient to attack. Moreover, Iran has had decades to study Israel's past operations and prepare accordingly. As one expert noted, Tehran has distributed its nuclear program widely across the country. It has also buried significant portions of it deep underground. Even if Israel could destroy Iran's current facilities, the regime would likely rebuild quickly in even more secure locations while expelling international inspectors. The knowledge and expertise to produce nuclear weapons can't be bombed away. As one analyst warned, the idea that the attacks are going to work indefinitely, that you're always going to know where everything is, that you're always going to be able to destroy everything, that is, I think, the height of wishful thinking. Expert view why attacking Iran's nuclear program would backfire. Dr. James Acton, a nuclear policy expert at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, provides a sobering assessment of the risks of attacking Iran's nuclear facilities. If Israel or the United States tries to attack Iran's nuclear facilities, my belief is that that will harden Iranian resolve to acquire nuclear weapons without eliminating Iran's capability to do so, Acton warns. He argues an attack would simultaneously harden Iranian resolve to acquire nuclear weapons while also not destroying permanently their capability to achieve that goal. Acton notes that Iran could quickly rebuild its program in a more survivable form, potentially at hidden sites. Meanwhile, Tehran would likely expel international inspectors and accelerate weapons development. Even in the most optimistic case that this attack is highly successful, a centrifuge program can be reconstituted in a more survivable form relatively quickly, he explains. Critically, Acton believes an attack would push Iran to make the fateful decision to actually build nuclear weapons, rather than just pursue a latent capability. If Iran has not yet made a decision to build a nuclear weapon, an Israeli strike makes it much, much more likely that it will make that decision to do so, he argues. With no good military options, Acton advises against attacking Iran's nuclear facilities. From both the capability and intent perspectives, when you combine them together, an Israeli strike looks like a pretty bad idea to me right now, he concludes. As tensions between Israel and Iran reach a boiling point, the next moves by both sides could determine whether the region slides into a catastrophic conflict or steps back from the brink. With Iran's nuclear program looming in the background, the stakes could not be higher. Subscribe for more.